Shut up and sit down.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ken Frederick Podcast. This is episode 33, Sharknado, the Fourth Awakens movie review. I want to say thank you for listening, and if you stumbled across us on the interwebs, you can check us out at KFPodcast.com, Facebook.com/KFPodcast, and Ken Fred Podcast on the Twitter. I got Justin to the left of me and Dawn to the right.
We're in a different little setup.
Yeah,
today.
in a different.
Because where are we at today?
We're at the Hall of Primes.
In the Hall of Primes. We're in my basement. Our little podcast studio.
It's like the worst things about comics and nerd stuff ever, all wrapped up in one room.
You shut up. It's all cool stuff.
It's like, oh, here's a bunch of shelf full of stupid Transformers and Justice Society of America. Oh, don't forget there's stupid bears and bull stuff up too.
Yeah, Chicago stuff all over the wall.
It's like being in the Hall of Doom.
It is. It's very much the Hall of Doom. It's cozy, though.
It's nice. I like it. I'm just being a dick.
All right. Being a dick to be a dick.
Pretty much. So, today on the show, we're going to talk about the little Sharknado backstory presented by Donald.
Yes.
Then we're going to go over the movie plot and cast, which I remember none of.
Was there a plot?
Sharks and a tornado?
Yeah. Multiple type of tornadoes in this one.
Talk about the cameos a little bit.
Lots of cameos.
Worst moments in the movie.
Which I feel will take up most of the podcast.
Yes, and then did we actually like anything about this? So...
Did you take notes too? Because I was jotting stuff down during it.
I literally was taking notes, and 20 minutes in, I filled almost a page on my notepad.
Yeah, so much. Look at all this I was writing down. I was like, there's so much stupid stuff.
I got tired. I was just like, I'm done. And I took a nap. I missed the only part I actually wanted to see of it, so...
What's Seth Rollins?
Yeah. But all right, so let's hear a little bit of a backstory of this situation from.
Well,
go ahead.
Other than why the audience needs the backstory, you and I needed the backstory because neither Justin or
we raw dogged this shit.
Yeah,
and we went in without knowing anything.
Never seen the other ones.
Which I was so surprised seeing how you like. You like all that goofy stuff on Netflix, these horrible B movies and those weird shows and that kung fu one that you watch with the T-Rex cop and all that. You like stupid shit.
I do.
Which I was surprised you weren't a fan of these at all.
I just never watched them because they're never anywhere where I can stream them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No, that didn't make sense at all. Like a TV? You're not TV?
They're not on Netflix. Or
But you have cable.
They're on Netflix now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, see, because when these came out, this is the fourth year of it. So the first year it came out, I've always been a big fan of Sci-Fi Network, those direct-to-TV sci-fi movies.
Was it Mega Shark versus...
Mega Shark versus... I mean, they get a little weird. It was Mega Piranha.
Two lava, two ranchula.
Don't even get me started on it because that's going to be great. I'll get to that a little later on. That's one of my favorite guest cameos in that. But
I have questions because that car.
We'll get to that in a minute. So, I've always been a fan of those, and Sharktopus came out before Sharknado.
Okay, I remember.
And it was
a
shark with an octopus body.
Yeah.
I always find them funny. Me and Saber always watch them. We always get into these goofy ones, different things with snakes and they used to star Tiffany and Debbie Gibson for some reason. Every single one of those movies. So when they came out with Sharknado, I liked it because Ian Ziering was in it. It was a return to TV because he used to be around toward Beverly Hills 90210 and that. So the first one, and you said you watched part of the first one and couldn't get through it.
Maybe it's been a while.
Same thing.
The first one wasn't anywhere near what these are. It didn't have the cameos. There was no cameos because it was the first attempt at it, and it had more of a little story about him and Tara Reid are divorced and are trying to rekindle their family, and he has that bartender, this Nova chick, who's his one of his best friends, and she's hanging out with him and helping him out, and then this phenomenon starts happening with these sharks, and there's kind of a story about somebody messing with weather, and there's a villain in it. It's a little bit more streamlined than just this nonsense you see now.
Because I had that question about this movie. Is there someone that I don't know causing all of this?
This guy did some kind of experiment, and it messed up all the sharks and made them all aggressive. and like the Sharknado appears, and this big flood starts happening. So a big tidal wave hits like Los Angeles, and like the water keeps rising. So every time this like these storms merge, like it was a better story. Like this thing kept coming closer, and the sharks were swimming around in it. But the ridiculous part of the end of it is they decide that the way to break up the tornadoes is they make bombs out of propane tanks. Like they go to like a cooking place and they put flares in them, and they light the flares, and they're literally like throwing them out of a helicopter, and they're going into the tornado and exploding and dispersing the tornado. This is what they're doing, and like everybody
That's not how that works. I feel like it's not how this works. Yeah,
it's so bad. And then he has the chainsaw, and then Nova, who's like the co-star, she gets swallowed in midair. Like she saves the one guy's life, jumps out of a plane, she gets swallowed by this shark.
So that's just stick in all these movies.
Yeah, and like she's in it, and then at the end, when they save everybody, this big ass great white comes down and lands on top of Ian Ziering, and you're like, oh no, they just killed Ian Ziering, and then he chainsaws his way out of it. And when he comes out, and they're all like, Dad, he's alive. And he's pulling the Nova out of the shark. So, like, her shark was in a smart, and then a bigger shark ate him, and he was in that one. So that was their thing. And then, like, it was such a hit when they started the second one the next year. Like, the Today Show people get involved and all that. And it was, like, a big deal. They were in New York, and they had, like, Rudy Giuliani. And it got more ridiculous. The third one, they had, like, David Hasselhoff as his dad.
He was on the moon.
And because it ends where they're going to use an old Star Wars Reagan program to, like, zap these tornadoes. So David Hasselhoff and his son fly to the moon, and he sacrifices himself. He stays on the moon where he launches his kids back, and he, like, is left there for dead. And then that shuttle piece lands on Tara Reid, who looks scarier and scarier as these movies go on.
Just drugs, hard drinking, and bad plastic surgery.
I feel like Tara Reid had the most believable part as part robot.
Yeah.
Because she looks horrible.
Yeah. Well, she gets progress. Like, in the first movie, this is like the first time she acted since, like, American Pie. And, like, she is so bad in the first one, it's, like, laughable. Then they, like, get her back together and all this stuff, and then you think she dies at the end of the third.
Yeah.
And then you knew they were going to do this because of Star Wars. They were going to call it the Fourth Awakens to the Force Awakens and all that. So that leads us into, this current one. That kind of like, it's almost like every time they do one of these, they got to get more and more ridiculous.
I know.
Did they actually direct the actors to act badly?
I think so.
Because some of these people aren't
I think so.
Horrible actors.
No, I think so. Because, like, I've seen Ian Ziering in other movies, and he's not too bad. And I think it's like they feed them those cheesy-ass lines. Every line is super cheesy. I mean, so many Star Wars nonsense cheesy lines. And
there's a lot of, like, lines, but my thing, the thing that pissed me off the most was his name is Finn, and his son's name's Gil.
Not only is his name Finn, his last name's Shepherd. He's a Finn shepherd, like.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. So like the sharks, he's like herding them. He's a shepherd.
He's like because they say he's like a shark whisperer.
Yeah, and then his dad was Gil Shepherd. And then they named their son that. It's real bad. The names and everything.
It's so horrible.
But like he's like this hero. The thing I liked about him the most is after the first one debuted, he was so popular on Twitter, and I like Ian Ziering because I think he's a really good guy in real life. Like I followed him on Twitter, and he's just so happy to like be relevant for something again. Even though, because everybody, when you fell, makes these B movies on Sci-Fi. Like I said, you watch them with Tiffany and Debbie Gibson, and I've seen all these people from like old TV shows. You're like, oh, look at this person. All these ex-Baywatch people and different people, they're in giant squid versus giant crab, and you're like, oh god, look at where their career's gone. So I think it was the same thing for him, and then this kind of took off and became like this phenomenon. And then he's on the Today Show, and he has a Finn Shepherd website, and they sell things with Finn and his face on it and all that. So I just like it because it's not good for him. Now they are getting more and more ridiculous because this one crossed some lines.
So many lines.
This one got really ridiculous. So talking about the movie in general.
Yes.
have you ever seen a longer intro for a movie than this movie? Who was it? 21
we were
minutes?
texting back and forth. And Ken and I think we must have sent that at the same time.
Because we were watching it and all this stuff, and I'm like, so what? Like, I felt like I missed a lot of the movie. Like, I feel like there was no beginning or end to this.
It just started 20 minutes into it. They're like, Sharknado 4. You're like, holy shit, that was a long intro.
And then, spoiler alert, the end of the movie, he was in mid-sentence and it just cut to black. It wasn't a fade out, it was just cut to black.
The third one was. The third one, that shuttle piece falls down and he looks up and he looks at Tara Reid. He's like, look out! And then it just ends. And you're like, did she get killed? Like, what just happened? You didn't know anything that happened. That's their shtick now. That's how they roll into the next.
Because it's basically you can watch them continuously.
Yeah.
And see one story.
Just one right through.
Yeah.
So I love that this one's 5 years later. Tommy Davidson.
Okay.
Tommy Davidson from In Living Color devises like a weather system,
it's
like a weather dominator
to
knock them all out. So there's no more tornadoes. And everything's good, and Finn's got his little
But the
family.
same guy, so this is a little bit of forewarning. The guy that says he like stopped creating, like he made a device that stops tornadoes. Made a hotel effing full of sharks.
Yeah. With so much water in it that it was enough to flood Las Vegas from one building. I was like, where's this water coming from?
So much water. And who's like, okay, so then what's Finn's son's name? Matthew, I think?
No, he's Gil also. Oh, his older son. He's Matt, yeah.
Matthew.
By the way, they're on a third actor for Matt.
Oh, really?
Seriously?
It's like the third actor.
Okay, that's great. So Matthew and his new bride decides it's perfect to get married in an airplane and then skydive in the middle of a tornado.
In the middle of a tornado. No one's like, don't jump out the airplane.
Yeah.
Why are they getting married in an airplane? It was just so ridiculous. I mean, that beginning was so bad. But nothing was worse than when that all led into they got in a pirate ship.
I forgot about the pirate ship.
And it's like a working pirate ship. It's on top of a casino.
It's from tropical or Tropicana. Thank you.
And then they're just riding that along. There's real swords on it.
Yeah, real swords. And I thought the one guy from Impractical Jokers, but it wasn't him. It was just another fat guy with a beard.
There was like members of Rascal Flatts there.
Yeah, and then there
in
was
the casino.
The guy from Married with Children.
David Faustino.
Yeah, he was part of the ship scene.
There is a lot of like bad cameos, like Carrot Top in the beginning.
Carrot Top.
Oh, that was one of the worst cameos I've ever seen in a movie.
The worst. The Chrisleys on that stupid platform, and the one girl got her face eaten.
Oh,
I only know who they are because they show videos during wrestling.
Yeah, they're on after Raw.
Yeah.
Well, Justine from Pittsburgh, she played his secretary
for half the movie, and they switched out to someone else.
I know.
I was like, okay,
I wanted to tweet her and be like, what happened to your character?
I also enjoyed that his cousin picks him up from Iowa. They drive 3 hours to Vegas.
No, wait. See, I have a question about that. The girl with him, that's his cousin?
I guess, but I thought they were going to have sex too.
I don't know who that was. I wrote down in my notes, who is this girl? Because when the movie begins and they're like, it's 5 years later, and they have that kid, I'm like, oh, is this his girlfriend? And then she gets like real slutted up, and he's like, oh, what are you doing with that? You know, and then he didn't answer the question about did he have a love life?
Yeah.
And then his wife comes back and that girl was looking sad. I'm like, I kept saying, who's this girl?
Yeah, that was definitely not clear.
And then she didn't die at the end. She fell off like Niagara Falls.
But she got eaten because in that strange montage of cutting fish.
We'll get to that.
But no, like I wrote a whole thing about like, okay, so they definitely say your cousin, because I think his mom says, hey, your cousin's coming to pick you up to drive you. Why are they going to Vegas?
For a family reunion?
That the other family stayed back.
To see their son. It was really weird, that beginning.
But I did a little research, and I'm like, okay, so who is this nerdy chick? I've seen her in something before. Yeah. It's the daughter from the George Lopez show.
The girl, the dress like they got tramped up to go to Vegas.
Oh, she totally got tramped up. Yeah. It was the total 90s, like, oh, I'm a nerd now, I'm hot, took my glasses off.
She was like, we're in Vegas. She said something like, that was Kansas, this is Vegas, and puts a boob shirt on.
Because Vegas, you have you get a license as soon as you cross the state line to become a whore. And just go out and start banging dudes.
It was really strange.
She was skydiving strangely in a tornado, and the whole scene where, like, everybody. So like, there's that car.
Oh yeah, like, he gets in the car to be safe.
Yeah, we gotta get in this car, and then the girl's like, "Let me get in the car." It's like, "No, it's not safe." I'm like, why did you just get in?
And then they drove down that spiral thing. I mean,
where did that come from?
God,
who set up the Hot Wheels track at the top of this?
It was just blowing around in the air.
You missed the Green Lantern cameo.
That's what it was.
It was
bad.
It was like they try like. I don't know. They try these jump the shark, as they say. I don't say shark for Sharknado, but then they just go way overboard.
Oh, so overboard.
And the thing with anybody who's around Finn, him and like his crew, everybody else is helpless. Like when the sharks bite the head right off, like you're just talking, a shark bites the head right off, and you're just sitting there, you're helpless. But him. He's like punching sharks.
There was so much shark and punching and kicking in this movie.
The best is when they're in that town and there's a little girl and the shark's like trying to get her. He picks up this great white and swings it off a tree.
Slams it against the tree.
Destroys it. I'm like, how strong is Finn Shepard? How's he that strong? He swung it like a baseball bat.
It was like a 10-foot shark.
It was like a 10-foot shark.
Yeah.
But probably weighs 500 pounds.
Oh,
he swung it like a baseball bat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that part was ridiculous. Then we moved into, they were on that train. Our boy Seth Rollins from the WWE gets a little cameo.
I totally missed it.
I was going to say, I don't remember a train. I think that must have been where I nodded off.
He was running like the power grid, and he's like, I'm getting... his acting was horrible, but it was just great that he was in there, and he had a couple little cameos. But...
Because Jericho was in the last one.
Yeah, Jericho was in the last one. They had a lot of weird cameos in the last one that didn't make any sense, but then they here's what really I don't understand. So they announced in the beginning the tornado that hit Vegas was a sand NATO. Everything's a NATO.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is funny to me because when Alex was a baby and we first watched this first one, he was like, oh, that's Sharknado. He kept saying he's afraid of NATOs. Everything was a NATO. I don't want to see any NATOs come, and that'd be a NATO. And then he would go through his list, and he would say, what if there was a fire NATO and a laser NATO?
Did we just find out that Alex wrote all these
and he would
movies?
say all those, and then he would be playing, and he would go, Dad, there was like a fire NATO, and this NATO, and that NATO. Everything was a NATO. We get to this movie now, here 4 years later, and they did a boulder NATO, a sand NATO. It turned into an oil NATO, and I wrote these all down.
I woke up during the boulder NATO, and I didn't understand how the sharks had...
They had rocks all over them. And there's no water, so I don't know how they're surviving.
And I didn't know, is it the same sharks from the hotel getting transferred to each NATO?
So the sharks, they're living in sand, they're living in a boulder, then they're in oil. I don't know how they're breathing in oil. Then they're all on fire. Then they put the fire... And, oh, Christ, when they put the fire out, did you see that part?
No, I totally missed it.
So they run into... They're like, we need some weapons, because this boulder NATO that becomes an oil NATO, then it becomes a fire NATO. It's coming towards them. They're like, we need weapons. They go into this little town that has, 2 stores. One of them is called, Tom's Chainsaws. It's a chainsaw store.
Of course.
Of course. It's run by Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh, my God.
That's when I started nodding off,
right.
I think.
So he gives them all these chainsaws, and then Finn says... This one's not going to be big enough. So they go outside, and there's one of those concrete chainsaw things, and he's driving that, and he's cutting big sharks in half with it. I don't know where he's going, but he's just driving closer. Then they all come out with their chainsaws, and it was a guy that looked like Braun Strowman that was with them, and they're cutting things in half, and they're like, we got to put that fire out, because the whole tornado is on fire, right? So here's how they put it out. They put 5 fire extinguishers in that chainsaw vehicle with a bomb in it, a grenade or something like that. No grenade. They had just 5 fire extinguishers, and he drove the chainsaw. It went up into the thing, and then his son shot it, and then it exploded, and all the fire retardant foam went through and put the tornado out.
So it's just not a regular tornado.
And then it was just a regular dirt one. But it's a tornado with fire in it. 5 fire extinguishers aren't going to make that big of a difference. And he was like, good thinking, Matt. And then it turned into electricity.
The lightning.
Oh, I saw the lightning.
Lava. It was hell.
Where the hell did the lava come from?
It went over Yellowstone Park and pulled lava out of it. Then there was a hell one that was making ice. There was one, I didn't know what it was. It had like energy in it.
The nuclear one?
Well, the last one was the nuclear NATO, with the nuclear sharks. I mean, it was really bad.
I was so at a loss for words watching
it seems like the three of us goofing around in a room, and I'm like, oh, there was a cow NATO too. And then the sharks were eating the cows.
Yeah.
It's like they were sitting there going...
With Gilbert Gottfried, is that a cow?
Yeah. Like, what do we put? Dirt. And you're like, how about oil? Fire. How about ice? Lightning. Nuclear. And you're like, chickens. Like, just naming things.
They're going to have to do a movie where there's sharks that shoot tornadoes.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to have to reverse itself.
Have they done sharks with freaking laser beams on their heads
Only
yet?
in Austin Powers.
Okay.
But yeah, I had to put the thing in there. I loved Gary Busey. Speaking of some cameos,
oh, God.
Gary Busey as her dad. How far has his career fallen?
Oh, and he wasn't... You could tell that they were like, we can't actually have you in a scene with other people. We're going to record all of yours like you're talking through a television set.
He was Zordon.
Yeah, he was.
Because you're nuts.
Yeah, you're crazy.
I mean, they had him in that room. I mean, he went from being in, like... Remember, he was in, like, Under Siege and all these movies where he was, like, a main actor to he's just crazy looking.
Yeah, he's a nutcase.
Experimenting on Tara Reid. How about her? She had her chainsaw hand.
Yeah.
And a lightsaber hand. Like, what do you need to light the chainsaw hand if you have a lightsaber?
Yeah.
Doesn't that trump all the other hands? You know,
Well,
she
like-
caught that car and, oh, God.
Well, the best was I was like, we haven't even gone to the mech suit yet.
Okay, the mech suit. Oh, my God.
But I was like, okay, so she's like, oh, and then she shows her stomach that has a shirt on. It's like she bought a Darth Vader shirt and was wearing it underneath or something.
Yeah, it had some buttons. She was like, this is the real me. It was like a couple buttons.
Yeah. So does he? So
well, that scene with the two of them when they rekindle and they do that. No matter what you are, baby, I'll always love you. And they're kissing. I was like, Saber looked over at me and was like, is this almost over? And I'm like, yeah, it's getting there.
Well, I really was hoping for some good plot points whenever the kid said, no, you're not my real mom, a shark is. Because I wanted hearing the shark. Sorry. And
I didn't get why a shark was his mom, and I didn't understand that one.
I wanted
the kid was so bad.
Yeah.
And then she, like, Iron Man booted her way in and saved them. Mommy's here, and...
Well, I like how when she catches the car and the little kids the other little kids all scared, and he's, you know Iron Man? I'm his wife.
It was just so terrible. Yeah, and she said Iron Man or Spider-Man?
No, it was Iron Man.
It was Iron Man. I couldn't catch what she said.
Who knows what that woman said? You could barely tell what she was talking about.
And when they would show up closes of her face, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
There was like 20 layers of makeup.
Oh my God, it was so bad. So let's talk about that awful mech suit.
Okay.
So they're like, this technology is going to save the day.
Oh, I couldn't wait. When they kept talking, hyping this up, I'm like, I can't wait to see.
And when they showed part of it, it was like a glass screen. I was like, this is going to be bad.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it.
It
was like a box with a clear window with like big tube arms and then regular pants. It was nowhere near a mech suit.
They took a cardboard, like an old-fashioned cardboard TV box and painted it silver. And then they put a fish tank on the head, and then they took the dryer pose and put his arms in there.
That's exactly what that was.
It was so bad, but it flew somehow.
I don't know how it flew. I don't know how you even move around. It was so bad.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I did like before when David Hasselhoff was supposed to get into it. He runs into, I don't know if you picked
the
it
two
up.
chicks from Baywatch.
The two Baywatch chicks.
Girls.
The one was Gina Lee Nolan, who got so old. She was like his girlfriend on there for a while. And then the other girl was the one...
The blonde was...
The blonde is Gina Lee Nolan. She was a playmate.
Oh, okay.
No, she looked really old.
The other chick looked exactly
the same.
Yeah.
She was always like the sort of manly chick that was on Baywatch for years.
She's the one you never really paid that much attention to because she was kind of like a B cup.
Yeah, she wasn't hot. She didn't have any silicone. She just was like at the end. She saved a lot of lives on Baywatch.
Yeah, she did.
But she didn't really, But the two of them with him, and he was like, and they were all like, there's no lifeguards on duty.
Yeah.
I wonder why. I was like, and I was loving that part. I was like, this is great. I had to rewind it. I was like, this is the Baywatch chicks. This is great. I love it.
Hilarious.
I was so mad though that they killed the Hoff, and then of course he was alive.
Well, let's get into that now.
Okay, let's get into
So, let me figure out the logistics here. So, the cousin got eaten by a shark, and then the son...
Well, Hasselhoff first, as he's walking in a mech suit, just gets swallowed whole. Not cut. Everybody else gets their head cut. He just gets swallowed whole.
Every important character gets swallowed whole.
Yeah, swallowed whole.
So the cousin gets swallowed whole. Hasselhoff gets swallowed whole.
The daughter.
The
son.
The cousin too. So wait a minute. We got the Hoff, the cousin, the daughter,
and the
son.
Yeah.
The wife, the son's wife.
No, she got brutally killed.
Oh, she got totally murdered. I forgot.
Like they're
about
trying
that.
to save like the little boy,
and
then a shark bites her arm off.
Yeah.
And she's laying on the ground like suffering. A shark lands and just smashes her face, and the husband could care less. Could care less. He's not screaming her name. No one's worried about her.
No one cares.
He's just like, oh, I got you, Gil, and he rescues his little brother, and they move on. He's not like, my wife, I lost my wife. He could care less. He's like, boy, I'm glad I got out of that marriage.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that. She had me jumping out of a plane, that bitch. Now, everything's fine now.
So then Ian Ziering gets swallowed whole.
He gets swallowed because they tear the mech suit apart.
And
then in a great scene, when the sharks fall on the ground, the little boy Gil goes over and pulls a mini chainsaw out of a rock.
Wait, we got to take a step back.
Yeah, because are we missing? Is that everyone that's swallowed by? So then those sharks then in turn swallow each other whole.
Yeah,
and then they're followed up by a blue whale.
A blue whale.
As I mentioned, is a filter feeder.
Yeah,
and it couldn't have eaten those sharks.
Well, I was like, where the hell did a blue whale come from? And then, the little boy too. They stick him in a barrel
and throw him over the
to try and help him. He gets thrown up. As soon as he got in the barrel, I'm like, oh, this kid's going over the falls. And then his mom saved him. But he pulled that chainsaw out of the rock.
The little plastic toy chainsaw.
Held it in the air, cuts open a blue whale, right? With this little chainsaw. And then he rescues his grandfather.
Yeah.
Then he pulls out his cousin. Then he pulls out the sister and the brother. Then finally they pull out
his dad.
Finn.
But here's what kills me.
I'm a shepherd.
Yeah.
Tara Reid has a lightsaber.
She's nowhere to be found. Well, she came down and lightsabered at the end.
Because she lightsabered through the side of the whale.
Yeah.
Oh, because they were on side of the whale.
They jumped through the blowhole to get to the shark.
Right.
Yeah, because the blowhole of a whale leads directly to the stomach.
Yeah.
Well, it's much like the sharks that we showed in the video intro to this.
Right.
That they're like a toy shark. And there's just a hole and then empty. It's nothing but imagination runs a blue whale. Come on, people.
So that ending was great. All that stuff that happened, and then the big surprise at the end, which you were confused.
I was like, first of all, I'm like, where did the Eiffel Tower come from?
Wait, so Nova, she survives the first one after he pulls her out. She's the original one he pulls out of the well.
Okay.
Out of the shark, out of the great white. She's not in the second one. In the third one, when he's trying to get back to his family, she shows up with, remember the kid from the TV show? Oh, what the hell was it called? Frankie Muniz.
Oh, from
her and Frankie Muniz are partners, and they're like this shark hunting team, and they're in this tank, and she shows up and rescues him, and he's like, Nova, she's like, I've been battling sharks, because she hates sharks because one bit her when she used to be a surfer, so she has this, and a shark killed her family, so she's like real angry,
That's hilarious.
So she's like, these bastards, and she's talking about how she's going to end them and all this stuff. So she is like, has all these weapons, and I don't know what happens to her. Like in the third movie, she's in this jet plane and she kind of like vanishes, but she's just gone. Like you never hear from her again and never talk about her again. So when he goes to that one farm and he gets those weapon supplies, he was like, his son said, who's this? He's like, oh, this is Nova. She's a shark hunter. She's over in France giving them hell over there or something like that. He's like, he mentions a reference that she's in France.
Wow, I didn't even get that. Yeah.
So at the end, when that Eiffel Tower comes flying in, which apparently flew across the ocean, and it lands down, and she's standing on it, and I couldn't tell who it was, but I knew who it was because I remember he said and he's like Nova, and it ends on like yes,
and
more
it
Nova.
Doesn't just like it doesn't end like there's some music.
Yeah,
it goes Nova, and it's done.
They like cut him off.
Like, Did he say Nova?
Yeah, he went Nova because you couldn't tell who it was because they probably didn't want to pay her for this movie.
Yeah,
but maybe she'll be in the next one. She was cool. I always liked her because she's real hot too.
I liked how it only took the nuclear NATO 20 minutes to get from just north of Pittsburgh to Niagara Falls.
And I love how it seemed to be chasing Finn wherever he went.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing I didn't know is they were talking about how did it go across the state to Philadelphia from Vegas and then come back to go north.
Well, there was 4 of them then, and they shut them down. And
I had no idea. I thought the same tornado. I thought the tornado was a guy, that had tornado powers and recruited all these sharks.
Well, maybe that's what it's going to be in the 5th one. They'll reveal that there's a mastermind behind it.
I hope his name's T-Nado.
I feel like they have such a contempt to make it even more ridiculous, where I wish they would just kind of do the first movie again and just calm it down, because they're really trying to get really out of control with it.
They shouldn't even just have a story. They should just have sharks biting off people's heads, and then what's his name, Ian Ziering.
And I thought when I made you guys watch this, I'm like, oh, you'll like it. Then the beginning came on. I'm like, all right, this is really bad. This is getting worse. They're really going out of line here. But I like it. The thing I like is that it's now a part of summer. It's right around Shark Week when they do Shark Week.
Yeah.
It ends Shark Week. They have it on FX, and it's a big thing, and everybody has fun. Sci-fi. They put all these people in it, and then everybody has a good time making it.
And I can't... How many Comcast spots were in that?
The first half an hour, the first 20 minutes was a 20-minute Xfinity commercial.
Hey, somebody's got to pay the bills for that
CGI. We have to check the news, because you go to NBC, it's go to NBC. What is that? That just...
I've got the new Xfinity voice remote chat thing.
Yeah, they're my Xfinity remote lets me go in.
Yeah, I was wow.
Okay. Well, that's probably Xfinity. We'll put some money into this. Make the CGI a little better. Hey, Tommy Davidson had a sweet plane.
We only had a secretary for half of it. Must have kicked her out.
Poor
Justine got thrown out.
Her out of the plane.
I was watching behind, so I was trying not to watch the text you guys were going back and forth. And I saw you say, "Is that Carlton?" And then when it came to Tommy Davidson, I was like, "That's not Carlton. That's Tommy Davidson." These idiots got it wrong. Then Carlton shows up. And I'm like, "No, that is Carlton." All right, there you go. Because I said to Saber, they thought that was Carlton. She's like, "No, that's that guy from." And then she's like, "Now there's Carlton." I'm like, yeah, there he is. He was on TV.
I would almost like to watch the other ones so we can talk about it while we're watching it.
They're crazy. But anyway, I think they're fun. It's a good time in the summer. It's always a good laugh on Sunday when we watch it. All the kids were like, we're not going to watch it. Then they all stood behind the couch, just standing there going, what? Come on. And I was like, if you're going to talk, get out of the room. I was like, I want to enjoy the wackiness.
Some of the different weird cameos and crossovers.
Yeah.
Well, the Christine.
Oh yeah. Well, let me explain that one real quick.
Okay, yeah, I have questions.
So when they debuted Lava Lantula, they brought Steve Guttenberg back. This was after they did the first Sharknado, or the second year after it, and he was supposed to be we're going to try this again, but we're going to do it with. It was literally giant tarantulas that crawled out of hell almost, out of the ground, and they were doused in lava. They could spit fire and all this. And he's an action star that retires.
So he is Steve Guttenberg.
He gets the town motivated again because he starts acting like his character from the movie.
Okay.
And he's doing all that and defeats them and does all this shit. In the movie Lava Lantula, he's shooting these lava lantulas. He runs into Finn Shepard.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, "Hey, Finn, big fan." He's like, "Oh, hey, how are you? Oh, you're the action star." And they're talking. He's like, "Can you really use your help, man? We got some things." He's like, "I got shark problems." And he's like, "Good luck," and he walks away. And that was literally their interaction. Nothing about that car or Christine or any of that. I don't know where that came from.
Wait a minute, that's not in
That's not any of the Lava Lantula movies that I remember. Was there anything to do with a Christine-looking car or any of that stuff?
So did they just tie in Christine?
I have no idea. So when he calls him for help, I was like, oh, because they've been showing the commercials for Lantula coming out, and I'm like, oh, that's why he's here. And he's like, oh, this car, she'll do it all. I was like, why is there a Christine car? Then it did nothing.
Did it drive on?
No, they drove a little bit, then they got out of it because it's better to run from Sharknado's in Drive because they're like, it's gaining on us. I got an idea. Pull over. Like, okay, that's gonna help you. But so that's funny. Two lava, two landslide. The trailer for that's great. Did you see it? The commercials doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just great. I love Steve Guttenberg. Those movies are good. Maybe Finn will be in that one too. But anyway,
they need to do a Justice League or like an Avengers.
Oh, they are. They're like, they should join the Avengers Grimm.
Yeah, that movie.
Anybody have any final thoughts? Will you watch another one next summer?
Not until I watch the other ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna bite the bullet and watch the other ones on
You gotta
Netflix.
suffer through it. You just gotta power through it.
I think we should just watch them all. Like when we have nothing to talk about, we'll watch one
Yeah.
and then review it. Because if you can stream them somewhere, we could do the whole thing. But I don't know if I can watch them without having a reason to watch them.
Or some beer.
Yeah.
All right.
That should be
Any
our
guesses
drunk
on what the
podcast.
next one will be called? They're not going to do another movie name ripoff.
You don't think? I think this is just the start of it.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's going to be their shtick because they did.
Revenge of the Fifth.
Oh, you just figured it out.
We did. We just figured it out.
And you're going to find out that someone's controlling it. I bet it's going to be Tommy Davidson's actually behind all of it.
Or they'll have some nemesis. It'll be Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Oh. Who else could it be?
I don't know. Anyway, we beat the shit out of this one. We've been going on for a half hour.
All right, well.
So, thanks for listening. Go check it out. It's funny. Watch it on TV. You'll have a good time. You can laugh.
Yeah.
And later on this week, we're going to go watch what we hope is a better movie.
I don't have high hopes.
Suicide Squad, coming this
I'm
Thursday.
going to pretend like I didn't read any reviews today and go into it open-minded.
Well, maybe it's better than
Again,
Sharknado 4.
Well, yeah, but these are hardcore critic reviews. They don't like these movies, so
We'll see. That'll be up too this week sometime.
Yes.
All right.
So please like, subscribe, invite. Something else?
share.
And watch out for the flying sharks. They're out to get you.
I got a chainsaw. You have a bug on your shoulder.
All right, thanks
Good night.
everybody.
That's it.